All right, let's talk about something we all think we understand: helping people. What if I told you the best way to help isn't always to just solve someone's problem for them? Today, we're diving into a really powerful philosophy on giving and receiving support, one that could honestly change how you look at things. Let's get into it. So, let's start with a question that might feel a little uncomfortable. We're all raised to believe that helping is just good, full stop. But is it? Is it possible that our best intentions could actually backfire? That they could, create weakness or even dependency? That's the big, messy problem we're going to unpack today.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at why aid can be a double-edged sword. Then we'll get into a fascinating solution called the giver's 30% rule. After that, we flip the script and talk about the receiver's responsibility. Then we zoom out to look at a scholar's debt to society, and we'll wrap it all up with what might be life's most valuable asset.
All right, first up, the central problem. The idea that help, even with the absolute best intentions, can be a double-edged sword. Here's the tension in a nutshell. On the one hand, giving help is great, right? It provides convenience, offers support, it solves an immediate problem. But there's a huge risk on the other side. That same help can create dependency, it can foster complacency, and over time it can seriously weaken someone's ability to rely on themselves. We might be accidentally stealing their strength when we think we're building it up.
So if just jumping in and helping 100% is the problem, what's the solution? Well, this brings us to a really core principle for anyone who's giving help. It's called the 30% rule, and it is all about empowerment. To get around this whole tricky situation, the lecture we're drawing from proposes a simple, but honestly a really powerful rule. It's designed specifically to empower people, not to enable them.
And it all comes down to this one number: 30%. Now, I know it might sound a little random at first, but trust me, there is a powerful logic behind it. So here's what the 30% rule is all about. It's not about giving someone 30% of what they want. It's about giving them just enough, about 30% of the total effort, so they can get over that one big hurdle. You're giving them a critical boost that makes the impossible feel possible, but you're deliberately leaving the other 70% for them to do themselves. That way, they have to struggle, they have to strive, and they have to build their own strength to get to the finish line.
Think of it like this. If you give someone 70% support, yeah, you might get them to the top of the mountain, but you basically taught them to just wait for a helicopter. But that 30%, that's the sweet spot. That's like giving them a map and a solid foothold so they can climb the rest of the way themselves. It's the catalyst for real, lasting strength, not a shortcut that just leads to complacency.
Okay, but that's only half the story, isn't it? Giving is one thing, but what about the person on the receiving end? Well, it turns out they have a huge responsibility too, and it's all about the ethics of accepting help. You see, getting help isn't supposed to be a passive thing. It's an active, ethical choice. So before you accept, you have to ask yourself a few things. 1, do I truly need this to succeed? 2, is there someone else out there who needs this more than I do? Now, if the answer is yes, you do need it, then you accept it with gratitude and a clear plan to use it well. But, and this is so important, if you don't really need it, your responsibility is to decline gracefully and maybe even suggest someone who does. Taking an opportunity that you haven't really earned or don't truly need can actually come back to bite you. The speaker calls it a form of bad study. It's like cheating on a test in life. Sure, you might get ahead in the short term, but you're creating a kind of karmic debt, and life has a funny way of balancing the books later on. And this whole idea of ethical choices, it doesn't just apply to one-on-one help. It scales up to the level of society. So let's look at something called a scholar's debt, which completely reframes things like scholarships, not as personal gifts, but as a huge societal investment. So where does the money for something like a scholarship really come from? According to this philosophy, it's not just some abstract fund. It's funded by the blood and sweat of countless people in society, many of whom never got the chance to go to university themselves. It is not free money. It is a profound investment from the collective. So when you accept that kind of support, you're essentially entering into an unspoken contract. Your education stops being just about you. It's now a collective investment. You now have a duty to use that gift to become a leader, to solve problems, and to contribute back to the very society that lifted you up. It's that mindset, that cycle of giving back, that builds a truly healthy and strong nation. Okay, so this whole idea of repaying a debt to society brings us to our final and maybe our most important point. What is the ultimate currency we use to pay back that debt? What is life's most valuable asset? Let's put it this way. If opportunities like an education are a loan from society, what currency do we use to repay it? What is the single most precious resource we have to make our contribution? The answer is time. It's the one and only asset you have a finite amount of. You can never, ever get it back. It is the raw material, the very fabric you use to build your life, your future, and your legacy. Just think about the difference for a second. Money? It's just a tool. You can lose it, you can earn it back. It comes and it goes. But time? Nope. Once an hour is spent, it is gone. Forever. Wasting it isn't just inefficient, it's a profound loss. So, investing our time wisely means we have to be intentional. It means avoiding meaningless gatherings that just drain your energy. It means dedicating your hours to things that bring true value, learning something new, connecting with people you love. And here's a big one. Understanding that rest and reflection aren't wasted time. They're a vital investment in yourself. The goal is to make every single hour count towards your growth and your contribution. So, all of this leaves us with one final essential question. This whole philosophy isn't just about how you give or receive help. It all boils down to the ultimate resource you're spending every single second of every single day. So how are you investing your time?